Hey there. So this week is Spanish prep. Unfortunately, our term 2 stuff is not quite available yet. So they said it should be later this week, that it is available. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing with what I have from term 1 and how that transfers to the next term. So for CM Simple Languages Spanish, the pre-recorded classes have come with a student book that I print for each of my students that has their song pictures and their poem pictures. And these are what they use to go through the different songs and poems throughout the term. Then they have their story, La Casa de Emilia, and they learn different vocabulary words through that. And then they had their book for the term, Caperucita Roja, and the kids each, I print off one for each of them. So I print off each of that for their binders. So they have their student book, they have the Casa de Emilia book, and they have their Caperucita Roja book. Then I print off one teacher binder for myself, obviously. And then they had these little storyboard pieces and these clothing items. So I print these, laminate these, and then I only have one set of these. I could print 3. It just ends up being like a lot of stuff otherwise, and they're supposed to really be playing like store with the clothes, and they're supposed to grab the certain people for the story when they read about it, so that they're associating names and stuff like that. So this, I print off one copy, and then what I'll do at the end of the term is I'll label this Spanish 2, term 1, and then this goes in my file along with all these extra books and stuff, so that when my younger kids come up and through this level, we will be set to go. That's it. That's all I do for Spanish. We have the Speaking Spanish with Miss Mason and Francois book. All I do when I do that is I open it up, we read the thing, we learn the series at the rate that the kids will learn it. And so there's no prep there. I just don't. And because these CM Simple Languages are pre-recorded classes, all I do is make sure that I have the document with the QR or with the links to the Canva videos on my tablet. And so I just keep that open the whole term, and then we just click the next one, video opens, they do the thing, and I don't do anything with Spanish. We review the poem and we review the song throughout the week as well, like once or twice. And then we do the Guayan series on one of the days where we don't have our actual class, because the class is only 2 days a week. So that's why we kind of space it out like that. But that's all I do. So that's pretty easy this week. The other things I've done is I grabbed all the books and I have them on a shelf, and I've matched them with their guides to make sure that they're all together. And I went through each subject to make sure I actually do have all the stuff that I need for it. So the only things I have left to do, I believe, are Bible, which I might do ahead of time, or I kind of just do it as I get to it. I'm not in a super rush for that. Just because it is so, they're common stories, right? They're the narrative portion of scripture. So most people feel pretty confident reading that, and it's narrating and a little bit from the commentary. So I might review like the commentary ahead of time, but that's it. And so I have that left to do. And then I also did print off, I saw that my oldest student is done with her piano unit 5, so she's moving on to unit 6. So I printed off her new sight reading book and her new unit worksheets that come with the Hoffman Academy. So that's done and ready to go. And then this week I'll probably also actually start making my supply list for the science and handicrafts and physical geography. So those are my 3 things that I have noted that I need to buy supplies for. Everything else is pretty much done. And then I'll show you once we close out this term. We are on week 10 and week 11 is normally our review. I don't have any review this term to do because we have it like it's like our extra week. If we didn't stay up on something, then I've got a built-in bonus week. We're pretty much done. So we're just finishing up books. We just finished Builders of Our Country. We just finished our artist study. We finished our Arabella Buckley book, The Pond Life. So we're slowly starting to check all the books off. And so as those get done, I will grab out and write down exam questions from each of them. Could I have done that ahead of time? Yes. Would that be a good idea in the future? Yes. I'm not doing a full exam week. I had just learned from the Delectable Education cohort that term 3 exams were kind of optional. Did not know this. So I'm thankful that they are kind of optional. So what I'm going to do instead of doing our full exams, what we're going to do is I'm going to do like 1 Bible question instead of 4. I might do 2, 1 New Testament, 1 Old Testament. I might do 1, like, I really want this to be a light and uplifting exam. Not that exams are normally not uplifting, but there are certain exam subjects that I see are harder for my students than others. And so I want to make it easier so that this exam is uplifting and everybody's going into it feeling like, yeah, I did that. Now, could I be shocked that they don't know something? Yes, that has happened where I thought they're going to nail this question and then they've got nothing. Usually that has to do with the question before really took them off and they were like, I don't remember talking about that at all. And once they get like 1 bad question, they have a hard time like recovering, it feels like. And so sometimes I think like taking a break if you just had a hard question to them is really helpful. So anyways, that's the other thing. So I am going to print the Spanish stuff. I'm going to start getting my supply list together, and I am going to finish writing my exam questions that we will do next week for the end of school. And then we are on break until August. And so August will start back up. But until then, I've got the last of changing everything over, and I'll kind of show how I do that. And then I will start this whole cycle again, and you will get to see from the beginning how I plan a term, because I plan term by term by term instead of a year out. I generally know what I'm doing for the whole year, but I only sit down and get into the nitty-gritty details of the term ahead of me, because otherwise it gets to be a lot, and the chaos of a year's worth of material feels like a lot. So I like that I can break it down, do a term here, do a term there, and do a term at the end. And I've got 4 months to plan my next 4 months. So I should be able to read all the stuff of my Form 2 in that time, because they're going to be. And so I always think I can do this. And so given that I am just writing it back down and, you know, I'm listening to some of the literature reads versus like sitting down and reading them. So like the Jungle Book, I just put on an audio version and I just listen to it versus my student will be sitting down and reading it. So, you know, that kind of difference. So it makes it a little easier. Anyways, hopefully this was helpful. The CM Simple Languages, I have an affiliate link. Do I know what it is? No. Could I look it up? Yes. Am I going to? Probably not. So if you want to dig and find the code to get your $10 off or whatever it is, you can do that. Otherwise, their pre-recorded classes are buy one, get one still. And they've been amazing. They've been really good. And level 3, I did notice really steps it up. They have the primer, McGuffey primer, and they have translated it into Spanish. And so you have it as a Spanish primer. And I'm like, that is so cool. So that is a big book, though. I will probably get that printed through like the, see, this is not somebody I don't get things printed very often. I know Barnes & Nobles does it. And I know that there's like a Heart Press, Humble Heart Press, maybe. And they do homeschool printing guides kind of a thing. So anyways, I will probably get that printed for when we get there, but we're in year 2. We're not moving to year 3 until the last term of next year because we did Spanish 2 term 1 for our 3rd term this year. So we're like off by a term. So, but yeah, so that'll be end of next, like this coming school year. Anyways, hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Likes or dislikes if you like these kinds of videos, just so I have some feedback. That's all I care about. All right, thanks guys.